Whitney Young football is on the air. We're joining you. Jack Wildermuth to my right, Barry Newman sitting on the 47-yard line from Newt Rockne Stadium on the west side of Chicago for a happy hour homecoming matchup between the Whitney Young Dolphins and the Westinghouse Warriors. Jack, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's a great day to be a Dolphin, and let's see if we can get our fins up against the Westinghouse Warriors.
There we go. Exciting. Both these teams roll in here today at 2-0. That's sort of like the headline that everybody can look at. Both of these teams played, and I guess coming in, they're both averaging over 40 points scored in their games, and only given up a handful. So Westinghouse has beaten Marshall 40-18, and Chicago Vocational 41-6. If you're a Dolphins fan, you know that the Dolphins had a 41-0 win the first week and a 40-16 win last week. I did that off the top of my head. I think they were both 41. We scored 41 in both of those games. 7
Correct.
Touchdowns and 6 of 7 on extra points, I think, in both. Anyway, a lot of points scored for each of these teams, albeit against Chicago Public League white division opponents. So, I mean, this is time to strap up the chin strap and get ready for some, what I always call red division, because it's always been called red, but now called the Metro division. So the Metro division is the top division in the Chicago Public League, and that's where these two teams will be facing off today. So a little more on the Westinghouse Warriors. You got head coach Julius Carter, who's been there for, let's see if I know, 9 years. So 9 years. And if you've been tuning in, you've seen us square off against the Warriors, I think, just about every year. I think we're technically a rival, as they're just down the street from us. So we pop on the schedule every year. Last year, a 32-0 win for the Dolphins over the Warriors. But Coach Carter's Warriors ended up last year at 5-5. And they had advanced to the IHSA 5A playoffs, which they've done 3 times during Coach Carter's tenure. So they won their first 5A game. That was a 32-14 win over Prosser. I mean, Prosser also a CPL white program. And then they fell to perennial powerhouse Sycamore 69-12 in the second round. But a nice showing by the Warriors. That team was led by senior Chicago Public League first-teamer Ralph Love. Love played on both the offensive and defensive lines, and I looked him up. It looks like he's playing collegiately at Aurora University right now. A guy that we'll see and talk about a lot today on the Westinghouse side is senior running back Devian Cross, or Devian. Let's call him Devian. I'm going to call him Devian until somebody tells me it's Devian. Devian Cross, he was second team all CPL pick last year, rushing for over 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns. So that's what we know about Westinghouse so far. If we flip it on over to the Dolphins, Dolphins, of course, beyond just the score and the record, they're averaging 344 yards a game against their opponents. So these first 2 weeks, our guy Von Conrad, VK5, he's on a heater right now.
He really is, Barry.
Yep, senior quarterback, and even looking back at last week's game, I mean, he put the touchdowns up and had the yardage, but some of the throws that he was making are throws that, and we'll talk to. I actually interviewed Coach Finger, and he comments a little bit about that on his interview that we'll get to in a minute here. But he's making some throws, and he had a nice year last year. But Vaughn and he was featured, both he and Max Warner and Josiah Purnell featured in a Sun-Times article after last week's win over Perspectives. And the one thing that BK5 said is that things have slowed down, and you hear that a lot. Even at the pro level, they talk about, hey, rookies come in and everything's moving so fast. And so as a quarterback who started and led this team last year as a junior, then you get behind the controls as a senior quarterback, and things slow down, and you can see it right now. He has full command of that offense, making some throws, making some reads when he wants to pick his spots, and running as well. So he's off to with 2. He had a career best against Carver first week, and then he topped that last week. So 189 yards passing last week, matched his career high with 3 touchdown passes, and he threw in a rushing touchdown on top of that. Maxwell Warner, Maxwell, number 1. I talked to Max on the way in today, Jack. we've got a new nickname.
It's not Warner
well,
gets the corner.
I mean, if we had an opportunity,
we
could get to the corner.
Okay,
but the chosen one.
Oh, using the number one in there. Okay,
exactly. So he said he was inspired by Micah Parsons. I don't know if that makes Maxwell Warner a Green Bay Packers fan. I'm guessing not. I'm guessing that would get him kicked out of the house. But he was inspired by that. So Maxwell Warner, the chosen one, another big day versus Perspectives. He toted the ball 12 times for 53 yards and a touchdown, and also had that highlight reel 48-yard touchdown reception right at the end of the first half. On the season, Max, the chosen one, has 266 total yards and 4 touchdowns. We'll get to some of these other stats maybe at halftime, but just rattling them off quickly. Bardsma leading the way for the wide receivers, 8 catches, 145 yards, and a touchdown. Rating Scott Mayer has also put in 2 touchdowns on the year. And before we move on to this week, we got one more shout out to Big Country.
Big Country. Barry, I was at practice yesterday and chatted with the team, and Big Play Barsma and Big Country throwing the ball around, and they have an equal number of touchdowns.
I bet that Big Country lets him know about that.
He sure does. Big Country, 55.
All right, so Alex Oshesky recovered the fumble last week in the end zone, and maybe we're trying to put in some gadget plays, some big man gadget plays. There was one drawn up a couple years ago for Jason Perez. I'm sure that one is still in the playbook. I'm not sure Oshesky's going to get the call on that, but who knows? Let's jump over. As long as we're thinking about it here, I'm going to go to the interview that I had with Coach Finger at practice a couple days ago, and let's hear what the coach had to say about his team after the 2-0 start.
I'm joined here with head coach Daniel Finger of the Whitney Young Dolphins. Coach, off to a 2-0 start. Clearly, headlines in the Sun-Times even involve Whitney Young, and that involves guys like Maxwell Warner and Von Conrad. Tell us about your quarterback and your running back and the starts they're having to this season.
Yeah, they've played a lot of football, and I think it shows early on in the season. Sometimes those early games, you got procedural errors, you got the game's moving really fast for certain guys. Not Max and Von. Everything's moving a lot slower than it has the previous couple of years for them, and it shows, whether it's in the pass game with each other even, but Vaughn kind of taking command of everything as a whole, and then Max being a 3-down guy, in the pass game, in the pass pro, obviously running between the tackles and in the perimeter game as well, and then playing defense for Max too. Already having an interception and being on kick return, everything. He's kind of he's ready to be the do-all guy, and we're going to ask him to do it all. So it's really lucky to be able to lean on those type of guys, especially when you have new starters coming up and replacing some really good seniors. So I'm really proud of the way those guys have kind of handled the added responsibility so far.
Yeah, and I think Vaughn, we've seen that first game he threw to a number of different receivers. Saw some really pretty back shoulder throws, one that was clearly in bounds, called out of bounds, I think. But just, again, you mentioned, I think, both in the Sun-Times article and early on, that he's just worked so much on his game. So comment a little more on that.
Yeah, he's... The quarterback position is unique in terms of it's really the only one that has to be year-round for football. I know every other sport, baseball has fall ball, and basketball has summer league and spring league and AAU and all that. And, every other sport besides football is really asking kids to play year-round. Football, we're not. We can go be other athletes, except the quarterback's got to throw pretty regularly. And so Vaughn's been working really hard at his arm strength. He's put on probably 20 pounds, which helps him throw it, helps him run it, helps him do a number of things. And I think it's showing a ton. And he's spent a lot of time with guys like Rayton and Miles and Bennett and Sheldon and other guys too, Tim and Josiah, and I think it's showing in their chemistry and where he's able to know he can put the ball for those guys, and those guys can go up and make plays, and there's a trust factor that's come with year 2 as a starter for him as well. So that kind of work is something that you can't force a kid to do, right? That you can't you can lead the horse to water, you can give the practice plan, you can do all that, but you can't make them sort of really buy in and push themselves to do it on their own. And so really grateful for all those guys' contributions, and then especially Vaughn kind of leading them through that process too.
All right, and then for all of us up in the stands, us amateurs, I mean, we can look at the stats and see what Vaughn's done and Max has done and Miles Bardsma and Joseph Gray. From a coach's standpoint, after these first two, who are some other guys that are really impressing you, that are surprising you in their play over these first two games?
There's some guys that aren't necessarily surprising, but definitely, Rayton, Scott Meir sort of filling a role as a two-way starter after kind of being a crucial off-the-bench guy both ways last year, but not really starting technically, and doing a really great job those first two games. And, Bennett DeRoss, same thing, where was a big-time special teams guy, and now he's kind of playing both ways. And Josiah Purnell with a position change multiple times over the summer, and just being a guy who's hell-bent on contributing. It didn't matter where or how, and he's changed everything he can to fit it. And then guys like Ben Miller, Logan Jones, Adrian Del Villar, who weren't played some last year but weren't starters, who now we're relying on to be every down guys on offense or defense, and they're doing a great job with it. And that's something that. I think if you had told me both those guys as freshmen were starters, as juniors and seniors, I would say, I don't know about that. And now, they're in there without a moment's hesitation from us as a staff, because they've earned so much trust and put so much work in front of us and in front of their teammates that nobody has any doubt that they're going to be able to go out and execute. So definitely proud of those guys too.
All right, awesome. So turn the page from the non-conference schedule to the, I guess we're calling it Metro now, the Metro Red. Westinghouse, a team that I would think we're circled on a lot of schedules. I'm sure we're circled on this schedule. What are you expecting for the game?
They've kind of changed their offense a little bit this season. It's more reminiscent of a couple of years ago, actually, than last year's offense. Really spread out, some downhill running, more gap scheme, a lot more counter than we've seen from them in the past, and some real jitterbug guys with the ball in their hand. Not necessarily the biggest, strongest guys, but really quick, lightning fast. And then on defense, just a pretty well-coached team, gap sound, that's going to fly to the ball. And so, we're going to have to be on our P's and Q's with our mental assignments, and then just really let loose effort-wise to kind of match their intensity.
All right, very good. Any last words?
Go Dolphins.
Go Dolphins.
All right. That was Coach Finger hitting out a bunch of the themes. It is homecoming. Jack, did you have a chance to partake in any of the festivities today?
There was a really good tailgate going out here at Rockney. A lot of good invitations. Unfortunately, the traffic hit a little bit. Was not able to participate, but this stadium, Newt Rockney, is a great tailgating area for parents for future games.
Yeah, Barry. Absolutely. Definitely the tailgate. I rolled in at about 2:45 today, and the Warner and Woods families, for sure. I think that there were a few other families involved in there. Perhaps the Sheldon Williams family. They had the tailgate cranked up. The music was pumping. The grill was rolling. So definitely a great atmosphere. We got a bunch of the students sort of rolling in now. And we have actually cordoned ourselves off here with the kind of old school. Talked about how you try to reserve your parking spot in Chicago during the winter months.
It looks
by
like
putting out some chairs and some other things like that. So I've got a bunch of home implements that are set up around us that are trying to make sure that we do not get overrun by Whitney Young students today, as tends to happen on homecoming, and also try to make sure that you all have a clear view of what the action is going on the field.
Always a fun day, homecoming. The Whitney Young Band is here. They were just cranking a little Funky Town by Lips Inc. I didn't have to look that up. And we were able to get some good music going from the kind of overall PA last couple of years, so hopefully we can get the 50-year-old women dancing.
Yeah, I think it will be rocking here today. I think and I think, Jack, you mentioned you had a chance to talk to Bennett Newman, who graduated a couple of years ago. He's down at Indiana working in the recruiting department. I've got a couple things maybe we'll be able to share today or throughout the broadcast about the different things that they look for from a scouting perspective. But you had a chance to catch up with him, and he threw you some keys to the game, right?
Yeah, this will be a weekly segment from this year. The Bennett Newman, straight out of Bloomington, Indiana, keys to the game. On offense, he thought maybe we'll see a repeat of last year's. Miles Barsma, big play Barsma, had a really good game last year, including the catch of the year, which was, I believe, on the Sun-Times Sports cover.
Yep, it sure was.
Great catch. So on offense, that's going to be, and on defense, it's going to be kind of the Coach Finger traditional early in the year. Special teams is key. So on special teams or defense, get a turnover. So offense, big play Barsma. Defense, special teams, get a turnover, and those are the Bennett-Newman keys to the game.
All right. Well, Bennett-Newman down there, Indiana taking on Indiana State tonight in a Friday night college matchup. From a homecoming perspective, we do have a couple of those guys. We got one of those that talk about all conference guys, Anthony Hood, down on the sideline. So Anthony, who was Bennett-Newman, Anthony Hood hookups, I think, for sure two touchdowns in that Westinghouse game 2 years ago. I got to say, that's when that offense was really humming on all cylinders. That was a game that we were getting flagged for literally breathing by the refereeing crew, and we would just score a touchdown, they'd call a flag, they throw a flag, it'd get called back, we'd score another one, they throw another flag, then we'd score another one, they finally, just go ahead.
Yeah, that's been I hope the last several Westinghouse games have been maybe leaning against us on the zebra side.
Yep. So Anthony Hood today, Juan Cepeda also here today. I talked to Juan a little bit. He was out at practice the other day, so he's at Roosevelt University. We got the captains out for the coin toss. So Marcus Woods, number 52. Joseph Gray, number 21. 5, VK5, Von Conrad, your quarterback. And also number 1, the chosen one. Maxwell Warner out there for the toss. Before we get going today, I wanted to make an acknowledgement. In the offseason, we lost a good one here with Whitney Young. Give me a second. I'm going to breathe a little bit. So Nate, North Park right now. And Nate, awesome guy, battled it with pancreatic cancer for a couple years, and we lost him this summer. Awesome guy. He was always my first volunteer on the chain gang.
Absolutely. He was the first to, and he was the chain gang for significant majority of games for 4 years.
Yep, exactly. And so, awesome. I mean, I got to say, the service for him was incredible. His wife, Barbie Diaz, just inspiring words. Jason spoke. His sister spoke. It was just an amazing thing. And then Nate, and I was always like, yeah, he was the first to volunteer. He actually got a street, one of those honorary streets over at Steinman's High School, because all the dude did was give.
Exactly. What a great man, Nate Diaz.
So just wanted to call him out here on the first home game of the year at Rockne Stadium, and acknowledge everything that Nate has meant to this program, to his family, and to the community. Awesome guy. We miss you, man.
No, what a positive force and a real loss. And then we have Brian Miller heading up, our leader of our chain gang this year. Looks like he did get that filled, maybe with the student, young Leo Galeta. Over there. He's on the IR for, I think, a lower body.
Yeah, I just
injury.
looked up. Leo I think has the. I think he has the honorary. He's 98. He's the highest number on the team. I was just looking at that the other day. I'm like, and it's kind of funny. So we talk about the evolution of numbers, and Jack, maybe we touched on it. Like when I was in high school, and you were a wide receiver, or you were at one of the skill positions. It's definitely, if you were a wide receiver, you were in the 80s, right?
Oh, for sure. 80 was probably the most popular number. 88 looked a little slick on.
Absolutely.
Make you look a little lean.
And so those were the key numbers. But now we're all about single digits. Other than our kicker, who's wearing number 23. Kickers usually had those single digits. Now they're usually not cool enough. Kickers have to take numbers like number 47, even in the NFL, because they don't have enough riz to.
It looks like
to
maybe
walk
a
around.
new number out here. long win, if I'm seeing that right. 90.
Excellent.
Is it 80? My fault. 80. Jonathan Ijimakin.
Ijimakin.
Brian Pantoya.
2-1 back deep. That's number 1. Daryl
Shot out of
Joyner.
McCannon. Jacob Woodermuth, get there.
All right, Jacob down there first, but then cleaned up by the dinger.
Nice.
Lee Dingfield on the tackle. And we get started with a nice special teams play. I think they're going to probably put that ball down at the 20 to make it easy for everybody. Easy for us up here, easy for you at home. We're off and rolling on a homecoming matchup. Westinghouse Warriors against the Whitney Young Dolphins. Starting offensive line, big country on the nose, Axel Oshevsky. Agent 0, John Spellers at the right end. Looks like Paracchini on the left end. Quarterback with the keeper, nothing doing. MJ, the Bull Woods.
Bull Woods, 52. Using that quickness.
Right off the edge. Loss of 4 on that first down play.
So safeties today, Sheldon Williams, Bennett DuRoss. There's a position of concern coming into the year because we lost so much at safety, but those guys have stepped up so far.
All right. Dylan Mosley, the quarterback. He has Cross to his right, 2 receivers top. He gets Spellers to jump, so Agent 0 a little fired up to get across there. So John Spellers, we talk a lot about Max Warner having the commitment he's made to Missouri. Spellers also has D1 offers. He's got an offer from Southern Mississippi on the table, and Coach Finger expects that the recruiting story on him will continue. So now empty set for Mosley. 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Official is going to call a illegal procedure penalty on Westinghouse, I think. Daryl Joyner is the wide receiver out here. He's protesting. He's saying he didn't do anything wrong. Referee is going to go check in with the white hat head crewman, so they are going to back it up 5 yards. And I'm feeling really good about our setup, Jack, because I'm looking over to our left and to our right, and we have the stands are packed here. Students section to our left, everybody standing, ready to roll.
Beautiful day. I'm counting 30 Dolphin cheerleaders out.
They are looking precise.
They are looking very precise.
Mosley waiting for the snap. He's got it. He's looking deep. He's got a receiver across the middle, but incomplete pass. Logan Lopez on the coverage.
Nice job by Double L. Step for step with the slot receiver.
So Scott Meir and Joseph Gray, your inside backers. Logan Lopez, who's looked good. Josiah Purnell, who had 4 tackles for loss last week. And then it looks like we've got a penalty or something going on. I didn't see what the signal was.
Starting the phantom-ish penalties early here against the Warriors.
So official is talking to Oshevsky. I'm not quite sure. I still didn't see what. Now we're signaling the clock is moving, but I didn't see what the penalty was. Looks like they're marking that as a first down, so perhaps a roughing the passer penalty is maybe what I would guess on that. Mosley, the quarterback, wide open, empty backfield. Looks to his right, tipped by Spellers, and then over the top. Big play, Bardsma looking in on that. I got to say, okay, so Spellers, we talked about him, 6'5", 215. When I was down at practice, he was off on the side. He had a little bit of a back spasm or something like that. And it wasn't until I've talked to him at media day, but it wasn't until I talked to him there in pads. He's a massive man. I mean, he's just a big kid who, especially now that he's fully focused on football and basketball is not part of the picture, he's just going to continue to grow into that frame, which is why D1 programs are interested in him. Mosley, again, looking at things. So Lopez came across, but I do think that there was illegal motion. They're going to call it offsides. So that's what do we have? 3 penalties already. We are less than 2 minutes into this game. Hopefully that trend does not continue. So Lopez jumped across, but the wide receiver, Daryl Joyner, who was lined up across from him, was also leaning forward. There's Cross.
Agent 0.
Nice job, DuRoss and Joseph Gray coming up on that stop. But a good run and a first down run by Cross. So again, Cross saw some of the stuff that he did last year with over 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns. Last week against Vocational, he had a 68-yard touchdown run. So he can definitely get up and down the field. And we're going to have some hats on him all day. So again, empty set for Mosley. This is probably what we're going to see. You got 3 receivers to the top, and that was a procedure penalty, I think, on Westinghouse. So now we're at 4. I don't really want to count penalties here.
We're at a pace of 4 in 2 minutes.
Yep, exactly 2 minutes, right at the 10-minute mark. If you're joining us late, you're just getting in from work. It is a happy hour homecoming matchup here at Rockne Field on the west side of Chicago.
Woo! TGI homecoming.
So now the officials are going to wave that one off. This is all a little sketchy. So it looks like maybe we have a timeout. Westinghouse is going to take a timeout. So we've had a bunch of penalties and we've had a timeout, and we're only 2 minutes into this game.
Yeah, the Westinghouse Whitney Young rivalry has been marred in the past, I believe, by some interesting things.
Yeah, it can get kind of heated down on the field. And I mean, my history with this program, so Jack would be your son Josh's senior year. I know that it was a game here at Rockne before the turf was in. I remember it was sort of a foggy kind of night, dew point on that, and we might have to check the weather. I think the dew point we had reached the dew point. It was a slippery kind of wet field, and it got a little chippy. Got a little chippy down on the field. Tommy Basario, left tackle, all city guy, kind of in the middle of a lot of the shenanigans, protecting things on our side. I think a lot of the shenanigans may have been initiated by the team in green that night. So here's Mosley. He's got Cross next to him. Give the Cross up the middle. Great penetration. Ball on the ground. Rayton Scottmere coming up with that. I think that was Gray on the hit initially. Scottmere dug it out of there. The Leatherman tool taking care of business, and the Dolphins taking over in Warriors territory. So I think that was Gray. There was an initial surge right up the middle that got to Cross in the backfield, caused the fumble, and Dolphin offense on the field at the 37-yard line. VK5 Vaughn Conrad, your quarterback. Max Warner to his right. 3 receivers top. VK5 looking, staying alive in the pocket. Now looking deep. He's got a receiver on the side. Hits a laser. I think incomplete. But man, I wonder if DuRoss might have just been out of bounds. Good job by the offensive line. Gave Conrad time, and he shot a laser over to DuRoss, but he may have had a tippy toe on the white.
Yeah, nice play by VK5.
All right, so offensive line, UN Security Force, we know them well. Efren Solano at center, MJ Woods, Paracchini, Logan Jones, and big country Alex Oshevsky across the front. Dolphins going to go to the 2-back offense with Gray and Warner. 2 receivers top, 1 at the bottom. That's a give to... Oh, no, Vaughn keeps it himself. Nice gainer up the middle.
Yeah, nice blocking. We had 56 in there. Ben Miller, our swing tackle, got to the second level, picked up a nice block on the linebacker.
All right, so Conrad picks up 6. Bringing up 3rd down. Need to get to the 27-yard line. DuRoss, Sheldon Williams heading to the top of your screen. Big play Bardsman looks like he's got one-on-one coverage to the bottom. Gray and Warner in the backfield. Give to Warner. Taking his way. Vision. The chosen one with a first down. And that is your Nate Diaz Memorial first down for the Dolphins.
Love it. R.I.P. Nate. Love you, man.
Move the chains. Ball resting at the 21-yard line. Just getting going here in the first quarter. 8:48 left.
What an environment here. It's just packed. It's packed, Barry.
It is packed. It's good energy. Scott Meir in motion. Looks like we've got an illegal motion.
The Westinghouse side is just filling in, but hopefully cameraman Remy can get some.
We got to AI. We got to AI some fans in over there. We've got Whitney Young has. I guess I would say we've got her outnumbered about 2,000 to 12 right now.
That sounds about right. That sounds right.
All right, so ball moved back 5 yards. First down at the 11 if they can get this going. Warner moves to Conrad's right. You got Josiah Purnell in the game.
The truth with a good block.
Warner fighting his way down close to the 15-yard line. So, again, you can see Max. I mean, again, the development for a kid like that, and I think a lot of, sure, he's got the measurables, right? He's got All-American speed. He's All-American level triple jumper, so he has the physical attributes, but you also see the patience that he has, right? He's not just running into the back of his offensive lineman. He's really seeing the field well. Same sort of thing. I think things are just moving slower for him. So really nice pickup there. Gets it to the 16-yard line. Conrad, he just overthrew Purnell a little bit on the side, so Purnell checking in at a tight end position.
Yeah, nice. Josiah is not shy about asking for the ball, so hopefully he gets another opportunity.
So third down. Wind is blowing from the south to the north, so it would be behind Sean Miller if they decide to roll Sean out. See if we can pick up the first down here, or at least get a few more yards and put us in good position for if a 4-down try is necessary. There's Scott Meir in motion.
Go Max.
There's the give to Max. Warner. Gets the corner. To the end zone. Touchdown for the chosen one. Woo! Maxwell Warner.
To your point there, Barry. Nothing inside, just bounced it outside.
Good seal block on the outside. And Warner gets in the end zone for his 4th rushing touchdown on the year.
And we have the Cowboys out, or the Cowbells out.
Also some Cowboys.
Also some Cowboys.
Cowboys, Cowgirls. Sean Miller on for the extra point. So 16-yard run. Miller gets under it. Nice little 56-degree wedge. Puts it in there for the extra point. So Dolphins up 7-0. Warner with a touchdown run. Again, that came off of the, I'm going to call it Joseph Gray forced fumble. Brayton Scott Meir recovery on the fumble. And the Dolphins are up 7-0 here on homecoming. 7:31 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Dolphin kickoff team in the game. Brian Pantoja, number 8. The Dinger, 20 in the game. Jacob Wildermuth, number 4. Usually shot out of a cannon. Let's keep that going.
Yeah, and I think just, I'm willing, if there's a prop bet available on this, I'm willing to bet that, and I'm not a betting man even, that Jacob Wildermuth will be the first one to the ball.
Hopefully he can break the man down and get a tackle here.
Well, he did a nice job last time, just forced the action, right? So you forced that runner, and then you got your friend the Dinger to clean up action. So back deep for Westinghouse, number 1, Darrell Joyner. He's a senior running back, 5'8", 157. And Jaden Gandy, number 21, he had a jet sweep touchdown against Vocational, so he can scoot it a bit. Gandy's a junior.
Team. Also Adrian Del Villar in the on the action.
So fielded by the up back at the 15 and runs into a mass of Dolphin humanity shy of the 30-yard line. Looks like Del Villar and the Dinger in on the tackle. Kendall Lynham also out there as well. So Dolphins or Warriors will take over here again. They had a little bit going. We had a bunch of penalties, but Cross again, their running back number 4.
So checking in for the Dolphins, rotating a bit here. Looks like Max is taking a breather. Kendall Lynham at corner and Jacob Wildermuth in at outside linebacker.
Excellent. All right, so Scott Meir, Gray still at your inside backers. Let's see if I can check out the attack force on the line. Looks like Oshevsky and maybe Paracchini on that side. Good pressure from Agent Zero. Good coverage by Gray. Nothing doing on that Mosley pass.
Nice job, John. No answer for Agent Zero so far.
Yeah, that was trying to get it out there to Donta Cox, their senior tight end. So again, both of these teams rolling into the season 2-0 in their first Metro Conference.
The Metro.
Action.
I like that. Good 1980 song by Berlin. Also.
Jack, that's why we have you along, man. Mosley keeping himself, gets to the edge, looking for first down yardage. Gets out about probably, I'm going to do it, 6-7 yard gain there.
We have a flag.
Well, flag going to be looks like in the area of holding on Westinghouse, so that's going to come back. Westinghouse definitely, and as we get into these Metro opponents, you start seeing a lot more size on the offensive line. I'm looking at Jamarian Stuckey out there, listed at 6 foot 320 pounds. Stuckey on that line, and I know number 74. I saw him on tape. Perry Foster. He's a junior. They just have him at 6'3" here. They weren't able to get the weight recorded.
6'3" and a good amount of weight.
And a tall guy, so he's their right tackle.
Big, impressive-looking young man.
Joyner and Gandy, the receivers to the bottom, 2 to the top, cross in the backfield with Mosley. Second down and long, call it about 20. Mosley tucking it, throws it out there, and that almost went to the big man. So I got to think that they had some guys ineligibly downfield there, but 74, Perry Foster was the closest guy there, where there was good pressure off of that right side of the line. Again, I think Marcus Woods in there, right?
Yeah, the bowl was in, and that's a decently strange-looking pass play for sure.
Yeah, there was a lot of it was like a little fire drill was going on. Guys were running in all sorts of different directions.
I think they took that play from Aussie Rules.
All right, third down and long.
Let's go Dolphins.
Dolphins going to pin some fins back and illegal motion on the outside. Jaden Gandy jumped. I think Mosley's working with some hard count action, but not all of. And he's gotten the Dolphins to jump, but he's also gotten his own team to jump a couple times here. So that's going to bring up third and really long. The Warriors would need to get all the way out to the 39-yard line. 6:39 left here. So watch Wildermuth off the edge. He's got Woods over there and Oshevsky. They're just going to little swing pass over to Cross. He's got some room. Kendall Lynham forces the action, and then DuRoss and
nice job by Dolphins creating havoc in the backfield. Cleaned up by DuRoss.
DuRoss and Pantoja out there. So that's going to bring up fourth down. So they got a big chunk of it back, but still 4th and 8. Then we get to the special teams unit. The vocational film that I watched, their punting game was pretty good. Their kicking game was sort of hit or miss. I mean, they hit a couple extra points and had some nice kickoffs, and then later on, it all sort of went south. But they're going to get number 12, Xavier Hadnot, out there to punt. Nice snap. Kick is
in the
floating.
Direction of Devonder Shoemaker.
Yep, and it's going to take a Dolphin bounce, but still get into Dolphin territory, where it was downed by Sire James, inside linebacker, sophomore for the Warriors. So we get VK5 coming back on the field. Again, that offensive line, it is Ben Miller in there.
A 56 with the 36. Yeah, thanks to the Miller family.
Yeah.
Jason and Jennifer for providing, I believe, Chick-fil-A for lunch today.
Excellent. So Ben Miller getting the start on the O-line. Solano at center. Adrian Del Villar. So Del Villar is in there as well. Logan Jones, Oshevsky. So it looks like and Woods. So right now you have Pericini is not on the field as part of the usual lineup on that security force. Ben Miller in for him. Scott Muir in motion. VK5 waiting for the snap. VK5 firing it over to Sheldon Williams. Williams makes a pickup, short gain on it though. Maybe one. We're going to maybe scratch out one. It's a completion in the book though.
Whitney Young.
Well, just a real quick the Paul Conrad weather report, 81 degrees, light winds, and filtered sunshine. I asked Paul about the weather. He said you'd use those two words, filtered sunshine.
Is that just one of those things? I just like the semicolon. You use the semicolon as a sign of intelligence.
He has it.
Filtered sunshine
He's
a sign of a meteorologist's intelligence. His son
at dew point 61.
At quarterback. Oh, dew point 61. Holy cow! Warner,
go Max.
And running.
Max Warner.
And running. The chosen one to the end zone. That play started fast and ended fast.
Wow, he hit that hole fast.
It was a low snap. There was a millisecond time between Conrad getting that snap, Warner getting the ball, and Warner putting the ball in the end zone. SEC speed.
Yeah, what a play. He's no longer just Mr. Outside. He's Mr. Everywhere.
That was turbocharged. Seriously, it was like I thought they were going to miss the handoff. The snap came in hot, but like Max was going. He probably saw what he wanted. Vaughn got him the ball, and the UN security force clearing the way up front. But that was a touchdown in a hurry.
Come on, doctors.
Dr. Miller.
Oh.
It's a little pitch to Dr. Miller. And a throw! And a touchdown! Holy cow! Fabrizio Bell pulling that in. All sorts of stuff going on.
Bell. Wow, a little trickeration by
the senior Fabrizio Bell. So we had the snap to Miller, who looked like he was going to run it, and then dumped it off to Fabrizio Bell for the 2-point conversion.
That was exciting.
Nice. We haven't seen Riverboat Dan Finger be able to roll out any trick plays here the first couple weeks. Now that one is that's a highlight film. Nice to do again. I think sometime, and I have to say I felt good about this game, but when I watched this team warm up, the first 8 passes out here were dropped. It was like you had some students out here, you had the band out here, and maybe it's just the way it was, but I just thought, they're going to shake that off and they're going to have themselves a game. But it's one of those things when you come off of some big wins and you have a Morgan Park game next week, you start, you don't want to look beyond it, and we haven't so far. Miller hammers it deep to Joyner. Joyner trouble fielding it. Joyner hammered down.
Woo! Get in there, mix it up.
Across the 15.
A pod of Dolphins.
Agent Zero down there. The Truth down there. I'm sure the Dinger was in there somewhere, right?
The Dinger's always in the mix.
Yeah, he's in the mix. So good job there.
It's like we're rotating in on defense again. 77 Logan Jones in the game on D-line. Big Country and Agent Zero.
All right, Logan Jones again holding down that tackle position there. Very high on the junior. He stepped in and just doing a job out there, which allowed Marcus Woods to move inside. So again, hopefully you're seeing some of the blocks that we're missing up here. but that offensive line is doing its job, and they've done the job on defense as well.
And 42 Kendall Lynham in at corner, because Max maybe needs to catch his breath after all these touchdowns.
Quarterback keeper and the Truth bringing down Mosley after about a 7-yard gain. So had a little action going on in the backfield. I'm sure that's what they're going to want to do here. Mosley and Cross, 2 of their best players, want to have those guys getting the ball, but also making making the Dolphins guess on where it's going. And Warriors play a spread-out offense. They've got 3 receivers, 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top. Cross in the backfield next to Mosley. There's the give to Cross. The Truth was out there taking care of business. Also Scottmere. So Scottmere forced the action. The Truth got an initial hand on him and brought him down.
Nice to see the Leatherman in having a great game so far.
Yeah, again, Coach mentioned it on the top of the show.
Dolphin mascot sighting, Barry. The Dolphin mascot is here. And the students are going crazy. One of my favorite.
How could you not?
Dolphin mascot. When Tommy Basirio was the Dolphin mascot for a couple during the state finals run.
Yeah,
in 22.
Well, that's Tommy Basirio, All-City left tackle. Played out at Wayne State. I would love to see Tommy in the Dolphin. Are we sure it's not Tommy in the Dolphin?
I hope it is. Well, actually, we're unless he's really drop some LBs, it's probably not Tommy.
Jack, I would, we should see if we can broadcast in the Dolphin uniform, in the Dolphin mascot. I wonder if I know that there's always a big thing about mascots not being able to speak during games, right? Isn't that like they have a code of silence?
That's the code. A friend of mine, Danny Nicholas, was Bucky Badger, and
hey, I had a friend who was Bucky Badger as well.
Yeah. That's a great tradition up there.
Yep, absolutely. Did he have some good stories?
He had some great stories. It was the opening kickoff of the Rose Bowl when Wisconsin was out there, and he caught the kickoff. You can pull it up. It was Wisconsin at the Rose Bowl, and Bucky Badger caught the kickoff.
And what is this friend of yours' name?
He's a great friend, Danny Nicholas. Shout out to the great Danny
There you
Nicholas.
go, Danny.
His kids are Glenbard West, so he was rooting against the Dolphins in that state final.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Great basketball team. A lot of those guys. If we get into a tangent, we can talk about Glenbard West basketball later. There's Mosley. Woo! Bam! The bowl. Mr. Marcus Woods introduces himself to Dylan Mosley.
So nice outside contain Jacob Wildermuth, and the bowl cleaned it up.
Brings up a 4th down. So after that promising first down run by Mosley, the Dolphins shut the door.
And that great form tackle is brought to you by Wrigleyville Chiropractic. If you want to be in great form, go see Dr. Christine Rosenkrantz on School Street. Great form, Wrigleyville Chiropractic.
All right, Hadnot back to punt. Good snap. Kick is short and off to the right-hand side. Bounces down harmlessly out of bounds where it was fielded by Nathaniel Asante.
It's nice to see this. To your point, Barry. It's kind of a nervousness to start the game. There's some homecoming dates in the stand. The band is here. Beautiful day. Looking ahead, maybe, and nice to be up 15-0.
Yep, 15-0 after 2 Maxwell Warner touchdowns. So Max, 4 and 5 on the ground, 6 touchdowns total. So a fumble on the first possession for Westinghouse, and now 2 punts. Scottmere in motion. Maxwell Warner behind. Maxwell Warner breaking some tackles. So still muscled his way forward for about 5 yards.
5-yard gain.
So in Warrior territory where this entire game just about has been played. Rolling down at the end of the first quarter here, 1:56 left, 15-0. Whitney Young leading Westinghouse. 3 receivers top. Big play Barsma to the bottom. Now Scottmere comes and joins him. VK5 waiting for the snap. VK5 looking to his left. Hits Scottmere. Scottmere reaching close to the first down. I think he's going to be just short. So nice pickup there on second down, giving the Dolphins a very manageable 3rd and short here. So VK5 came in completing 60% of his passes. Staying hot with that. Yeah, Vaughn just hitting 21 of 35 coming into today. 350 yards, 6 touchdowns, just 1 pick. And that's what they need out of him. senior quarterback. Waiting for the snap. Scott Muir in motion. Handoff up the middle to Maxwell Warner. Maxwell and the UN security force pushing their way for a first down. Tackled out there by Juan Cendeno, senior D end. Again, talked about some of the size on this line. Is Aquarius Jones, defensive lineman, 6'2", 270 out there for Westinghouse.
Yeah, good snap so far by Big Evil.
Big Evil.
Solano.
Solano holding down that center position. Conrad pulls it, gets it, to Ross. Tackle out of bounds, but a nice gain on first down. That was Brennan Watson,
nice
coming
play
up from his corner position.
Nice play by the Westinghouse corner.
So maybe, let's see where there's a conversation going on here between the officials. I don't think they've spotted the ball yet. So we'll see what's going on. See if there's a holding on the Dolphins. So that'll back them up 10 yards.
I'd like to see a number on that, Barry, because I don't think the play was impacted.
So after we had some penalties on the first couple drives, cleaned it up a little bit, but holding penalty here. Ball resting at the 40. Dolphins will need to get to about the 21-yard line for a first down, but first down, VK 5
There's the
drills it
combo.
into big play Bardsma. So they get 10 of that back right off the bat.
Big play Barsma. Hey, Warriors, remember me?
Yeah, Bardsma really, that was a breakout game last year. So that'll be the end of the first quarter. So yeah, if Bardsma made that one-handed catch, but on the day, I think he also threw in an interception. And somewhere here, I actually had written down what his stats were, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find them. But he had a nice day.
I do remember they were very good.
There we go. 5 catches, 68 yards, and 2 touchdowns last year for Bardsman. So he had been a guy that we knew was going to have some moments, and then all of a sudden he exploded on the scene that day and really was a massive contributor the rest of the year. That connection he has with Von Conrad. Coach Finger was talking about that, and it is something that. It's Coach Finger a lot of times talks about. I mean, he values sports. He comes from a sports background, so it's not just football. Like, he was a hockey player, I think he played soccer. So he values a lot of these guys playing multiple sports. It's hard, though. I mean, the reality of where high school sports are is that it's very, very difficult to do multiple sports just because you're practicing year-round. You've got a lot of other things. And, I mean, Whitney Young is not a small school, so you got 3,000 kids out there, and it's hard to be, one of the top guys in all those different sports. But what Vaughn has done is really worked out hard. So I think Vaughn, I don't want to say this wrong, I think Vaughn is a next level guy. So he goes to the coaches. There's a great football program, quarterback program at next level that Vaughn is part of. I think J.J. McCarthy was a next level guy, and a lot of the other elite talents. So there's some really good programs around the city. But Vaughn and Miles Bardsma throw all year round, and there's a lot of chemistry there. And after all this talk about how great Miles Bardsma is, he just flinched.
I think
for a
he was.
procedural penalty.
We have a little banter going on out there, and he was baited into that.
I think he was. Brennan Watson was lined up across from him.
Don't hate it.
It was man-to-man coverage, and there was some chatter going on.
Yeah.
And after Bardsma jumped, they exchanged a little fist bump. So some friendly competition going. Whatever. It was an acknowledgement. So that backs up 5. Second down.
Yeah, I think VK5 and J.J. McCarthy, similarly great hair.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I don't know if that's part of the program.
Inside give to Gray. Gray picking his way for about 5 yards off the left-hand side. He's stacked up over there. Westinghouse side, so that's going to bring up 3rd and about 11. So again, Dolphins need to get to the 21-yard line. A holding call on this has backed it up a bit. They got some back with the throw to Bardsma for 10 yards. and now call it about 5 yards back. Oh, actually not a whole lot for Gray on that carry. So I was trying to give him some yards. I think it was a no gain on the play. So third down early in the second quarter. I'll need to change the scoreboard here in a second. Got Scottmere to the top, Bardsma to the bottom. DuRoss, your tight end. DuRoss in motion. I think you got double tights going there. Inside.
Nice. Joseph Gray.
Joseph Gray with blockers. Football player to the house.
Wow.
Great downfield block. They had a really nice screen pass or little in the flat pass last week to Maxwell Warner. That one, same sort of setup. Patience on the offensive side. VK5 dumped it over there to Joseph Gray. Joseph Gray put on the jets, picked up some nice downfield blocks, and in the end zone for a touchdown. Oh man, I'm doing the wrong. I'm sorry, everybody. I got scores on the wrong side. I'm sure people are telling me that in the chat. I can't see it. VK5 with the hold. Sean Miller with the hammer boot through for
the
extra
point team. Some younger Dolphins getting some action there. Alex Estrella is getting nice blocking. Fabrizio Bell, he have the 2-point conversion. Max Tunk in the mix. Good to see some young players getting some action with this senior-laden team. 27 seniors.
Yeah, it is 27. I felt it because I interviewed all those guys during media day, and I needed. But sorry, I was failing on the technical front here, so I didn't have the scoreboard posted, but I do now. So hopefully everybody is seeing that. You're seeing your Dolphins in their brand spanking new awesome. So Miller lining up for his fourth kickoff, right? Fourth of the day.
It's good to be on the Dolphin kickoff team so far this season.
So we got Joyner and
we got 64
deep. Miller with the kickoff into the wind this time. It's going to be fielded and downed by Brennan Watson. So Joyner was trying to get up there for the to grab it, but a little bit of miscommunication. Watson ran into him, and the Warriors will take over on the big line at the 20-yard line. Jason Perez, I see you out there, man. You're right, it was a touchdown. Talking about the big man touchdown plays.
Right on.
We're going to call it a touchdown. Oshesky had one last week. Jason Perez had one 2 years ago. Prove me wrong. There's the give to Cross. Cross with some blockers, but quickly stopped by Agent Zero and Rayton Scottmere on the inside.
Kendall Lynham still out in at corner. Jacob Wildermuth, linebacker. Double L, Logan Lopez joins him, along with Joseph Gray and the Leatherman, middle linebacker.
Del VR in on the line, so Del VR, and now we've got Paracchini in on the nose, and Agent Zero out there. Mosley waiting for the snap. He's got three to the top, one to the bottom. Looking to his left. He's got a receiver open. Bardsma.
Ball's out.
Force the ball out, and it's recovered by the Dolphins. Big play.
Big Bardsma.
Woo!
Job,
Ethan
Miles.
Wiley got the catch in front of him, but then Bardsma held him up and ripped away the ball. Ball on the ground. Dolphins recover in business inside Warrior territory at the 41-yard line. Big play.
Big play, Bardsma. Again, he asked the Warriors to come out and play.
Efren Solano getting in there. Hey, man, time to go. Time to go here, Big E.
Big Evil.
Williams, Scottmere to the top. Gray in at running back. VK5 waiting for the snap. VK5 going
Up
deep.
top to
Bardsma with a step. Bardsma with a catch. Awesome catch down the sideline.
Oh,
no way! No way!
I want to see that in replay.
We do actually have a way of doing replay here, but my God, that was well. Right now they're down on the sideline, and they've got a cameraman was right in front of it, and he's checking the camera. He's looking back because I think he got the shot, and he's looking right now. Anyway, great throw, great pitch and catch. We'll see if he gives
that reminds me of the Brady Bunch episode where there was a picture of the player in bounds. I believe Greg Brady took it.
Low snap. Gray with it. Gray rumbling forward for a few. So yeah, I mean, it's this guy's call down here. He was a long way away from the play. The referee in the back didn't have the angle on it, but I certainly thought. I mean, it's all you have to do is get 1 foot down here in high school, and I think he had 2 or 3 feet down. Sean Miller checking in, the ninja. Gray checking out. Maxwell Warner was actually over on the sideline getting some hydration, I think. See him over there. So we'll have to keep our eyes on him, see if he just maybe had a little cramping or something after a couple touchdowns. Give up the middle to Miller. He's hammered down immediately.
Yeah, it looks like the truth is getting a little stretched out a little bit here also.
Trevon Strickland, the senior middle linebacker, introduced himself to Miller on that one.
I will hand it to the class of 26 Dolphins. So far, not much cramping.
Yeah.
I think that class of 24 might have set a record.
Yeah, they definitely did. So Maxwell Warner back in the game, VK5 in the game. So this is going to be a 4th and call it 6. Looks like they need to get to the 31-yard line. Sheldon Williams, Scott Muir to the top. Bardsma, DuRoss to the bottom. Scott Muir in motion. VK5 at quarterback with Warner behind him. VK5 rolling to his right. He's got an open wide receiver. Big play, Bardsma, for the first down. Big play, knew where the sticks were. Settled down. VK5 put it on him. First down, Dolphins. Nice 4th down conversion.
Yeah, great connection on 4th down. Reminds me of some good times from last year.
Can dial it up. Dolphins not afraid to dial it up. So senior to senior. Again, 27 of them. Those are 2 key ones there for your Dolphins. First down at the 28-yard line. 7:51 left here in the first quarter. That's DuRoss at tight end, settling in on the right-hand side. That's Warner, ball on the ground. Warner gets back on top of it. Little bit of issue on the quarterback-running back exchange. Also had Juan Cedeno from Westinghouse in the backfield in a hurry. So that was, again, on the touchdown run that Warner had, there was also like just bang, bang on, a snap, handoff, ready to go. And maybe a little bit of the quickness in the backfield there as well. Didn't get those guys connected on the handoff. So loss of 3 on the play. Ball at the 31. Williams and Scottmere to the top. Warner checking in with VK5 where he wanted him aligned. Now he's on his right-hand side. Looking left to DuRoss. DuRoss into the corner. Not quite out there enough yardage for the first down. Nice tackle. I think that was Bernard Mitchell on the outside making the tackle for Westinghouse. So good little connection from Conrad to DuRoss. Picks up some yardage there on second down, making about a 3rd and 4. VK5 getting that play from offensive coordinator Eddie Boucher. Dolphins were scoring quick in those first 2 games. VK5 didn't need to make as many trips to the sideline. Probably, I'm sure he got his 10,000 steps in for the day, but today working on that even a little bit more with some of these more sustained drives. 2 receivers to the bottom. Scottmere now in motion. Give to Warner. Warner with a bunch of Warriors out there.
Max.
Woo! Still able to pick up some yardage. Probably only 2. Ran a long way on that.
Maybe
Brennan Watson settling down in that cornerback position, kind of forcing the action.
2 yards short.
Yep. DeRoss was out there just trying to make sure he wasn't going to get a holding call, sort of just walling off. Maybe the next time Bennett just turn around and hit a guy. But I mean, I think he's thinking he's a Whitney Young Dolphin, man. He's using that noggin.
He's seen these Westinghouse games before.
All right, so 4th and 2. Again, Dolphins picked up a first down on a 4th just a couple minutes ago. We'll see what they look to do again. You got Bardsma one-on-one to the bottom. Warner in the backfield. Warner getting out to his right. VK5 with a lot of time. Tipped by big number 71. And the Westinghouse Warriors are going to get the ball over. So that was George Martin Space taking up some space at 6'3", 270 pounds. He got a big paw up there and deflected the 4th down pass.
That was set up so nicely for Bennett. Nice play by the Warrior.
Yep, good protection, but Space did a job from his defensive tackle position. Kind of got back in a coverage area.
So checking in 26, Nevin Hinkle.
Yeah, we got a bunch of guys. Devander Shoemaker in at the top, at the corner. Got 36.
36, Malachi Martin.
I'm not quite sure that would be Malachi Martin.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe it is. Oh, I'm just saying he's a freshman. Maybe. We hope it's you, Malachi.
Yeah, some of our numbers, I'll need to do an audit on the numbers again.
So Lynham and Shoemaker at your corners. Scottmere and Gray, your linebackers. There's a nice little wide receiver screen. Scottmere taking care of business. Paracchini taking care of everything else. Ball was out. Loose. Ball was out, and ball was recovered by the Dolphins. And I think the offense is back on the field. So I think maybe Lynham came up with it. I think I'm going to give the strip to Paracchini because I feel like the Scottmere made the initial hit, sort of stood him up, and then
maybe
the strip was going on. And there's some congratulations going on to Joseph Gray over there. So whatever, we missed a bunch of what was going on there, other than the fact that the Dolphins have the ball and Joseph Gray is getting a lot of. It was the beanbag. It was the beanbag that came out. Yep.
Nice eye, Barry.
All right, back on the field for the Dolphin offense after that fumble. There's Von Conrad keeping that and gets swarmed under after minimal gain. So 22-0. Another fumble by the Warriors, and this is deep in their territory. Ball at the 15-yard line, 2nd down. Conrad collects the play. 4:32 left here in the first half. Homecoming matchup here at Rockne Stadium on the west side of Chicago. Again, both these teams rolling in here with 2-0 records in the non-conference schedule. First Metro game for each of these. Conrad give to Maxwell Warner. He's not going to go very, very far. Let's see who's on the bottom of that pile. Look like number 11 for Westinghouse. So good tackle there by Deshaun Gafford. Gafford actually had a fumble return for a touchdown in their game against Vocational last week. So Dolphin offense a little stagnant here. Turned over the ball on 4 downs after putting up 3 touchdowns early here in action. Williams, Scottmere going to the top of your screen. Bardsma in single coverage to the bottom. Again, this is a Westinghouse team that likes to bring some pressure. UN Security Force has done a nice job. Conrad, inside slant route.
There's that connection.
Bardsma to the end zone. Let's give it to him. Touchdown!
I hope that stands. One ref called it down, and we had a touchdown from the back judge, so I think we're good.
Yes. Touchdown pass, VK5 to big play Bardsma. Bardsma was not going to be denied.
No, he really wants the Warriors to come out and play.
VK5 to big play Bardsma. BPB. Collecting the ball, getting the kicking ball out there. We got Tim Edwards. We'll have to get the long snappers. We've had enough.
Yeah, Dr. Edwards.
The doctors
is there.
are well. They flipped over. They had the wrong ball out there, so that was a good stoppage of play right there. Tim Edwards, Dr. Edwards on the long snap. He's going to deliver it over to Dr. VK5 Von Conrad. Dr. Miller line it up. Good snap, good hold, good kick.
Nice. Good job by the Ninja.
So we got a touchdown and the extra point, putting Whitney Young up 29-0 here with 3:20 left in the first half.
Yeah, nice block in there on the extra point by Emiliano Bracco. 57.
All right, so last year 32-0 Whitney Young over Westinghouse. There were 5 shutouts on the year. I'm not sure I always get that number right. I think it's right. 5 shutouts last year by Coach O'Donnell's defense. So rolled a shutout in the first week against Carver. Last week, Perspectives got him on a trickeration, a little wide receiver pass where we got into the backfield, and then after a turnover we were deeper on the 2 or 3 or 4 deep there. Turnover late in the game, ended up with 14 points on the board for Perspectives, but otherwise this Dolphin D has been rolling. So Miller's got it teed up at the 40. I think Gandy and Joyner are back deep to receive for Westinghouse. They're lined up at the 15-yard line. Again, the wind blowing a little bit in Miller's face. Miller kicks it short, left, fielded on the
nice
run.
Play. Double L. Logan Lopez.
So Lopez down there. Good job of Westinghouse's Brennan Watson, who we've seen at cornerback. Watson did a good job of collecting that heading upfield. We'll have to see what the laundry on the field is for.
I think Logan indicated maybe a face mask, and Logan thought maybe he got him by the shoulder pad, but that was just the body language.
Personal foul, face mask against the Dolphins. So that's going to tack on some yardage and maybe get us all the way into Dolphin territory. So good job by Brennan on the fielding the short kick and then the face mask penalty. So we get the action right in front of us here. A little more of a close-up look at Mosley as the quarterback. .314, Westinghouse looking to get on the board here in the first half. There's a keeper by Mosley. Rayton Scottmere not going to let go. Scottmere with the tackle. Joseph Gray on the end of that, but Rayton was the first guy through.
Nice play by the Leatherman.
That's kind of becoming a bit of a habit. I like that habit. Bardsma back in at corner, along with Shoemaker. So loss of 3 yards in that play. Ball at the 50-yard line. Mosley, the quarterback. Cross next to him. Mosley, high snap, looking deep, throwing. He's got it. Hits his man. Bardsma ushering him out of bounds. That was Ethan Wiley.
Yeah, nice pitch and catch by the Warriors.
Yeah, Wiley had a nice touchdown catch last week against Vocational. Really did a nice job of high pointing the ball, getting a touchdown. So definitely some talented skill position players here for Westinghouse. So the ball out of first down at the 37-yard line. Mosley surveying. He's got 3 to his left, 1 to his right. Looking left, looking middle. Looking middle, trying to get it to his tight end. Not quite able to do it. He had some room to roll. That was Dante Cox out there. Had some room to roll if he could get him the ball. There was good pressure up the middle, but I think that was also one of those instances that maybe Westinghouse caught the Dolphins in a bit of a blitz, and if they could have connected, sometimes you see those big-time plays to those tight ends. Oh, and there's a flag on the play.
We have a roughing.
You got to look quick. I mean, the ref signal comes out fast, but I would guess, given the yardage that was, and given the nature of the play, I do think that was a roughing the passer call. So now, first down at the 22-yard line. Mosley with some time. Nice catch over there by Wiley. So that connection's gotten rolling. Mosley to Wiley. Wiley just taking a nice little out route there to the sideline.
A little faster here, maybe. Nice hustle, get off the field.
And Delviar getting off the field. Bardsma, the corner on the top, the Vander Shoemaker on the bottom. So Westinghouse, 1:49 left here in the first half. Refs moving that ball back just a little bit. So second down, picked up about 8 on that play. Mosley in an empty set in the backfield. 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right.
Get
way over his head. Ball on the ground. Agent Zero with the ball. Ball still rolling around. I think they're going to blow it dead, but recovered. I think recovered by the Dolphins.
Ooh.
So the snap just got airmailed. Snap airmailed over Mosley's
in the
head.
Backfield there.
Third down for the Warriors.
Oh, they're going to say the Warriors recovered that? Nah. That's what the public address announcer said, but he's wrong. It's going over to the Dolphins. So another fumble for Westinghouse. I'm not sure I've got all of them counted here. I think that is Brayton Scottmere recovered one. I think that's at least the third, if not the fourth fumble. So Westinghouse having some turnover problems here. Bennett Newman talked about the turnovers, his predictions, and that's been key. Time of possession is massively in favor of the
Bennett's
Dolphins.
having a good first half, but big play Barsman and turnovers.
Big Country was on the sideline. Big Country was, I think he had a Polish sausage fired up there. They said, you got to get done with that. VK5, looking deep. Catch by Scottmere.
And one.
Holy cow. Yeah, that was a heck of a catch. Scottmere had a great catch last week that was ruled out of bounds. That one the refs couldn't take away, man. Great job by the senior running from that Quinn Duhan F position. All right, Dolphins on the ball, getting
up
going
top
here.
Again. Here we go.
He's got him open. I think it's Barsma wrestling and the ball's on the ground. So Barsma did a good job getting into his defensive back position because Deshaun Gafford actually had better position on that. So that's going to stop the clock with 1:19. Dolphins are trying to go with a little tempo there, although, quite frankly, they've got all of their timeouts and plenty of time here in the rest of the half to get another score if they need to.
Coach Eddie trying for the quick strike.
Yep, going for the jugular. We got some. I think there might be a wave or something. We've got a very we've got a very engaged Whitney Young.
Well, let's hope they don't play that Chapel Roan song again.
Oh, you want it.
We almost
want that.
The stands almost collapsed last year.
All right, so
I do
down.
want it.
I know you do. I know. Williams, DuRoss to the top. There's Scottmere in motion. VK5 back to pass. He's got a ton of time. He's looking for Williams. Williams is getting mugged down there. Williams got mugged by Mosley first, I think, as a DB, and then Gandy came in later, mixed it up as well. So good job. We're going to be a pass interference call on the Warriors, and it's going to give the Dolphins a first down. So not the NFL, not a spot foul. 10 yards. So it should give us a first down. Got Brian Miller over there on the chains. Brian taking care of things, taking care of business for the Dolphins.
The Nate Diaz chain gang doing a nice job over there with young Leo, the class of 28, helping out.
All right, so first down, ball at the 20. Scottmere in motion. VK5 looking to whip it over. He's got his man.
Big play,
Barsma shaking and baking into the end zone.
Wow.
Not going to be denied. Big play.
Big play, Barsma. I'm going to start calling Bennett Newman before every game for some tips here.
Barsma on the 20-yarder touchdown catch.
35-0.
35-0. Official timeout, but there are a number of Warriors that had a bead on Bardsma, but
we saw that a lot last year. He's so quick in the open field. I think because he's played a variety of sports, he doesn't seek contact. He's just so nimble. It's fun to watch.
Nimble.
So nimble.
He's
Big
got
play
some
bars.
swivel, man. He's got
ready
some swivel.
Ready for homecoming, that kid. Woo! I'd say he's the king. I'd give it to him.
Miller on for the extra point. Dr. Edwards going to deliver to Dr. Conrad. Perfect, and perfect. Whew. Kick through for the extra point. 36-0.
Now, it's nice to see, as you pointed out earlier, this is our, not red, but Metro Division first game, and it's a chin strap game, and the Dolphins really did strap on the chin straps in the first half.
Yep. Well done. So a quick recap. Warner with a touchdown run on the first drive after a Scott Meir fumble recovery.
Whitney Young fight song being played here.
There we go. As well it should be.
Do you know the words to that, Barry?
Yeah. Do you?
Of course. I'm 8 years a Dolphin parent. Let's see, kickoff team, some newer names in there. Devin Hinkelin, Double L Logan Lopez, Jacob Wildermuth, Adrian Daviar. 64, I do not have a 64.
We're going to have to figure out 64. Oh, Aiden Fusey.
Okay. Some action.
So Miller hammers it deep. Fielded there by Joyner. Dinger!
Go Dinger.
Forcing the action outside. E.G. Mockin then. So I think E.G. Mockin forced Joyner out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. Tony McHale taught me this a long time ago, that referees just want to make things easy on everybody. So anytime there's something like out of bounds or on a kickoff, it always goes on the big line. So like there, just magically he went out of bounds right at the 25-yard line. Jonathan E.G. Mockin, the senior wide receiver special teamer, forces it out. Making a spell on the sideline. Mosley. High snap. Mosley corrals it. Jacob Wildermuth on the coverage, and DuRoss had an INT in his hands but couldn't corral it. Mosley was trying to get it out there to Jaden Gandy. Couldn't make the connection, but DuRoss had an interception on the first defensive play of the year. Was looking for his second there. Dolphins with three safety look right now. Now Gray settles up. Oh, good run by Cross. Runs into the back of his blocker. There's going to be a hole downfield, but he gets it all the way out across the 50-yard line. So Cross, again, we talked about Cross over 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns last year for the Warriors. So nice run there. But a holding call. Holding call is going to be downfield, so that's going to be marked at the spot of the hold, and then they'll back it up 10 yards from there. So I think we're still going to have a first down for the Warriors. One of the Warriors was down, but I think back up. So yeah, good run there by Cross, number 4, senior running back. So he's definitely, Cross is making some college visits. I saw on his Twitter account. X. Sorry about that, Elon.
He's a factor for sure.
MJ Woods going to check back in. The Bull, Del Villar out there. Big country on the nose. 3 receivers to the left for Mosley, 2 to the top, empty set. Mosley looking to his right, now back to his left. Servang hits a receiver down the middle. So that was his big tight end. Number 88, back to hey, we can still wear some 80s. That's Donta Cox. So
with
13
timeout
seconds left.
Westinghouse,
So timeout Westinghouse. They've got the wind behind them. If you can get Mosley a little time, maybe you can get one to the end zone area.
The wind brought to you by Paul Conrad.
Paul Conrad and the wind. Hey, we got to talk about Sorelli's. Especially on a day like today. We're rolling into 5:21, so still in the happy hour window where I'm sure we could have some snacks. But Sorelli's, man. So again, the Sorelli's Finer Foods. Aunt Patty out there
on North Avenue.
Yep. So order up your sub sandwiches, Italian beef sandwiches. If you've got an event that you want to have catered, give a call over to Sorelli's. Some good stuff. So Dolphins commanding lead here, 36-0 in the first half. Coach Dan Finger. Eddie Boucher,
is this considered Cicero, Barry, do you know? In a Cicero part of Chicago?
Cicero, yeah, because they're the water towers over there. Maybe there's a line. Maybe it's on the other side of Roosevelt. I don't know. Mosley looking to put one in the air with the wind behind him or put him on the ground. Jacob Wildermuth trying to get that. They were trying to go for they already have the trifecta on fumbles. They're going for the quad-fecta.
That counts as a sack. I would count that as a sack.
There you go.
Really stingy with those
right. Oh, he was.
Oh, wow.
Tony, man, that was a sack by Josiah Purnell last week. Tony was like, where's the debate, man? He was a quarterback that got flushed out of the pocket that Josiah, the truth, took down. So anyway, Tony, I was going to text that to you. Awesome first half here.
Wow.
Dolphin fans, you got a lot to see in the first half out of your defending city champions. I didn't get that in yet today. So
the holders.
The holders. Dolphins heading to the locker room at halftime up 36-0.
I think, Tony, if I'm using a lot of your language, I'm complimenting Notre Dame. I'm using the holders, talking about EPL. You can give my kid a sack on that one.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. You worked for it. You earned it. All right, I know I've been screwing up the scoreboard all game. I had it as first quarter. It's halftime. I'm just going to set it at third quarter so I don't forget that. Let's roll over and let's get to some halftime fun. All right, so a lot of good stuff. So mentioned first week of Chicago Public League Metro play. So we had a game last night, Simeon, and we said last week Simeon was 0-2. Yep, 0-2 rolling in, but we had warned our friends at Brooks to say Simeon was going to roll in there, and it was going to be a bit of a battle. And Simeon took it to Brooks 62-0. So Simeon, they had their losses to Wheaton North 34-20 and Bolingbrook 44-22. So again, big time programs there. Wheaton North and Bolingbrook. Simeon talked about Mikhail Blade, the edge that's committed to Michigan. I was also talking to Bennett Newman, and he brought up another edge that they have there, Brian DeMoss. So DeMoss is a 3-star. He's a junior. So also on when I looked at his X account, he has made a bunch of Big Ten visits already. So you got two edges there that have one committed to Michigan, another getting a lot of interest at the Power 5 level, and I think a couple other D linemen. So Simeon is they're going to be a power in the Metro Conference. So they're on the board with a win, 1-2, 1-0 in the conference. We got some other games that we're early today because of the homecoming. So we'll go over some of the games that'll happen tonight. Lincoln Park is traveling to Lane Stadium. So both of those teams roll in at 2-0. Lincoln Park wins over Mather and Kennedy. Lane with a more notable wins. They had a 37-16 win over Shepherd and also a win over Thornton Fractional South. I looked on the IHSA site today, and I know that not every school reports in their statistics every week, but Vernon Cole, the senior running back at Lane, is currently second in the state in rushing yards. So he's averaging 209 yards a game. He's got 5 TDs.
That's a lot of yards.
Yeah, the only kid ahead of him is the Warren kid that we talked about, the wrestler up there at Warren. So Vernon Cole, number 2. They also have Daniel Howard there, defensive lineman. He's a 3-star committed to Iowa State. So Lane is not on our schedule this year on the regular season schedule, but maybe we end up seeing them at some point in the playoffs this year. But they've got some big-time players. I mean, they finished last year at 3-6, but always felt like there was a lot of talent on the field. And, I mean, it's a massive school. They have like a cajillion and a half kids there. So
yeah, Daniel Howard, straight out of Alcott, did some damage to I want to say the Latham / Duhan coached Oscar Mayer, whatever they are. Go Alcott. Go Wildcats.
Oscar Mayer Wieners, right?
That's right.
Aren't they the Wieners? Yeah, Oscar Mayer Wieners Elementary School. Peyton versus Taft going on tonight. Peyton also rolls in at 2-0. Taft is 1-1. Taft is led by Illinois commit Diesel McFadden. He was first-teamer last year, all CPL. Taft got beat up Glenbrook South last week, but they're ranked number 22. So I think Taft, Peyton, be a good game to see there. I mean, I think Peyton struggled a little bit in their first week game against Corliss. So we'll see. They roll in at 2-0, Taft at 1-1. Phillips 0-1 against Johnson 0-2. Have to see what Phillips starts putting together. They face them later this year. And on Saturday, so those are all Friday night games. Saturday got Amundsen 1-1 versus Kings. Amundsen, again, they've got Reggie Mitchell, who played with the football player Joseph Gray. So Reggie Mitchell, all CPL running back. Morgan Park taking on Bulls Prep. So Morgan Park, again, rolling in at 0-2, but their losses are to number 5, Downers Grove North, and to number 4, Naz. So 33-6 loss to Naz. So I got to say, that's probably the toughest. So I think what we got is some guys that are trying to itch to get on the headset right now.
Oh,
so
sure.
We got some.
I think
some
we have
alumni
Anthony
here. So let's do it. We'll do a quick. We'll do a quick check-in. We got Anthony and Juan Cepeda. Anthony. So Anthony Hood.
Oh, this is weird.
Yeah, it is weird, man. How are you doing?
I'm
good
good
to see
well.
you. Good to see you, man.
You too, man.
So Anthony Hood, we talked about you on the Open, all Chicago Public League. Yeah, we always talk about you. Always get Anthony Hood in. I think I had gone back and I had pulled some stats when I saw that you were here. If I could find them. I mean, your senior year, I think it was over 500 yards. You had over 1,000 total yards. You had over 500 yards rushing, receiving, but then you were also operating out of that Wildcat quarterback, so I think you had over 200 yards passing as well. 220, 221, whatever, something like that. How are things going? So first of all, give me your assessment on the first half.
My assessment on the first half, Maxwell is running hard, man. That boy is running hard. The defense is really getting after the ball, which I love to see. They caused a lot of turnovers, and most importantly, the team is just locked in.
They are locked in. What do you think about at the wide receiver position? What do you think about big play Barsma?
I think Barsma's doing this thing. I think he came up to me asking, like, ways he could influence the defender in front of him, and I was just telling him, I was like, well, he's really flat-footed. So I feel like a lot of 1-2 jabs is going to work on him really well. You slowing your tempo down and then like accelerating really fast in a short moment of time, that'll really get him just because he's so flat-footed. And like if you notice when he's playing that little catch technique about 5 yards off the ball, he don't move his feet at all. Like he's just there, just waiting on Barsman trying to grab him. And then that's when he almost had like that big-time fade.
Yeah, which I thought he was in bounds. He was in bounds. It's always and I try not to complain too much, but it's just anytime we face Westinghouse, it just seems like we're facing two teams out there.
The clock might turn off. Who knows?
Yeah, the clock might turn off. The refs might throw 12 penalty flags. So yeah, that's good. I mean, we actually was talking to Bennett Newman earlier this week, and Bennett down there on the Indiana recruiting staff, and they were going through some scouting schools. So they were talking about wide receivers, and they were talking about what they look for at the collegiate level. Mm-hmm. And so the one is about how you're catching the ball, right? So it's the windows, right? And then Barsma did a nice job on one tonight, like getting it out there, right? So it's about like hands catch, but not just hands. It's like snatching it, making sure that you're controlling it. And then it's about that shift, right? It's about being able to accelerate up to a defensive back and then making a move, right? Decelerating and then accelerating again.
Definitely.
So you did a good job of pointing that out. What else is going on, Anthony?
With me in life, I'm just living life, man, one day at a time.
All right, man. Well, I got to say, it's been fun to see you and Jason Perez a lot over the summer. I know that you guys teamed up with Bennett over at DePaul and played a lot of hoops.
Yeah.
And good to see Juan Cepeda. So talked to Cepeda at practice today. So he's a freshman at Roosevelt right now. We got Nick Dale, who's down at Wash U. And Juan had told me, I'm gonna have to get this verified, but Nick is playing tackle at Wash U.
He's playing tackle?
He's out at tackle, and according to Juan, it's one of the reasons is because Nick somehow forgot how to snap the ball. So we're gonna have to find out about that, because Nick Dale was an all-state center who probably delivered every ball on target last year, the last 3 years when he was primarily at center. So I'm not sure how a Dale forgets how to do something, but anyway, that might be his buddy Juan Cepeda chiming in, trying to give him a hard time. But anyway, it's great to see you guys. Harrison Gossa down at edge rusher at Illinois. Sam Wyatt still out at Pomona, so great to see you guys playing at the next level. Anthony, we're going to see you on the field somewhere next year, I'm sure.
Definitely. I'm excited to get back out there.
All right, man. Well, thanks for joining us. I appreciate you jumping on.
Thanks for having me.
Great to see you.
You too.
All right, so let's go back to some of those other things. Just had started talking about Morgan Park rolling into that Bulls prep game. Morgan Park, toughest schedule in the state, but they're going to get after it against Bulls prep. And then last game on the Metro schedule, Kenwood versus Clark. So Kenwood with a big win last week over St. Viator, Catholic League opponent, 27-7. They had that tough first week loss to number 17 St. Francis, so lost on a late touchdown throw, 38-34. Kenwood, big story there. Kenyante Lewis at quarterback. So Lewis is averaging 210 yards a game, 422 yards passing over the season with 2 touchdowns. Also leading the team with 24 carries, 236 yards, 9.8 yard average, and 5 touchdowns. Kenyante Lewis is a transfer from De La Salle, where he was the Chicago CCL Player of the Year. And he also has a Kent State offer on the table. Now I'm joined by Buster Cepeda, the Mexican Machete. How's it going, man?
It's going good.
Give me your assessment. Like, it's easy for us to talk, to see the Bardsmas and the Conrads and the Maxwell Warners out there. What's your assessment of what the offensive and defensive lines are doing right now for the Dolphins?
I think the biggest issue with the D-line, not that there is many issues, but like with John, he has to just fight pressure with pressure and let's get square more. I mean, like, because he's trying to get into moves and stuff, and it's not there. The tackle's not shooting his hands enough for him to even hit a move.
All right, so here we got the Dolphins up 36-0, and you're coaching, man. You're giving them a hard time. You're like, hey, spellers, you got it, and that's I think one of the things too for some of these guys. When we talked about John, got an offer out at Southern Mississippi, but it's still only his second year of playing football, and some of those finer points of things are things that definitely need to get coached up. Tell us about Roosevelt and how things are going there. You mentioned to me when I saw you at practice that it's a little bit of a different game at the college level. What's the biggest adjustment?
Definitely like the size. Our whole starting line, I'm pretty sure, is like either 290 or 300 plus. A bunch of big dudes. I mean, like the game speed is just so much faster. You have to process the game faster. I mean, it's really fun to like be able to like start over again and be back on that grind, starting off from the bottom. I mean, that's the one thing I'm extremely excited about. But it's definitely the size of like basically the competition, because like at any moment your spot's gonna get taken. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I looked at that Roosevelt roster, and I mean, and also like tell me about you got Coach McHale out there, Pat McHale. Yeah. Is it nice to have a friendly face on the coaching staff?
Oh yeah, I mean Coach McHale be getting me right, man. Let's say if I forget a shirt or something, I'm like, yo Pat, hook me up real quick, and he's like, I got you. What size do you need? He be getting me right. I really appreciate that.
All right, so Coach McHale, Pat McHale, who graduated in 2022, I guess off the top of my head. Actually 2021 graduate. No, 2021 season, 2022 graduate. Always hard for me to make those 1 year adjustments in my brain, but Pat, great quarterback here for the Dolphins, now coaching out at Roosevelt. You guys got a win, first week win, right?
We did. We're about to get a win again on Saturday.
All right. Who you play Saturday?
Southwest Baptist.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're from Kentucky.
All right. I looked at that roster, and you had mentioned to me as well. I saw a bunch of Morgan Park guys on the roster.
Oh, yeah.
Saw a guy, Jake Ryan, that we faced off against Taft about 1.5 million years ago. So a lot of, and you said what the whole two deep D line is Morgan Park guys, huh?
Yeah, definitely. We got Josh Johnson. We got Demetrius Rule, who's a freshman. He's a dog. We have Derek Crump. He graduated from Moore Park a little minute ago. We have KJ Hayes. Absolute animals on the field. They're crazy.
All right. Awesome. Well, great to hear the update from you.
Oh, yeah.
Buster, good to talk to you, man.
Of course.
All right, you get back down there and give some tips to spellers and the rest of that. How's your guy Dylan Pericini looking down there?
He's doing good. He just got in. There were some issues off the field that they needed to be discussed.
All right. So he paid his penance. His penance, so he's back on the field. That's good. Good to hear.
We got that sorted out. I had to get him right,
All right. Very good. Juan, great to see you, man.
You too, Barry.
All right. Sorry, man, didn't mean to leave you hanging there.
It's fine.
All right. Other big games around the Chicagoland area. So we talked about the Metro. Mount Carmel, number 1 Mount Carmel going against Nazareth Academy. Can anybody beat Mount Carmel? I'm not sure. If anybody's got a chance, it might be Naz. So number 1 against number 4. Mount Carmel at the 8A level. I think Nazareth is going to check in this year at the state level at 6A. When I use rankings, it's kind of a little confusing. A lot of times I just use the Sun-Times Chicagoland area rankings rather than, there are also AP state rankings where you get some of the downstate schools that'll mix in there too. But number 1, Mount Carmel against Naz. Mount Carmel just loaded up all over the field. D1 offers from a lot of those guys. Loyola going against St. Francis. So I think a lot of people wondering where Loyola, they graduated a lot of guys last year. Their quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick, out at Iowa right now. Punched in on a bunch of new guys. Their first week game was against Maryland, Indiana, and won that game. But then their second week that was a forfeit, not them, whoever their opponent was. So they go against St. Francis. Again, we mentioned St. Francis had that big win over Kenwood, so they both roll in there undefeated. Downers North against Hinsdale Central, so that's number 5 Downers North against number 18 Hinsdale Central going on, so that'll be a good matchup of some top 20 teams. Also, Brother Rice versus St. Rita, so I think that's getting into some of these Catholic League games, man. Brother Rice is a team that really over the last couple of years has not been able to put together a long run. But they are, again, talk about a team that has a whole bunch of guys that have D1 offers or commitments. So they led by King Liggins. We talked about him last week, committed to Illinois. They got a 4-star next to him in Braden Park and a 5-star edge in Cameron McGee. I think McGee is either just a sophomore or junior. Yeah, McGee is he's top the sophomore, top rated in the state and top 10 nationally. So that's just off of their defensive line. They also, their quarterback, Jack, by the way, guy by the name of C.J. Gray, 3 touchdowns against Marist. You know where he's going?
C.J. Gray, I don't.
Army.
Is he really?
Yeah.
The on-brave old Army team.
Yeah, that's right. So some good guys have gone there, right?
We had Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside. We had Pete Dawkins. So 3 Heisman Trophy winners.
There you go. So if you didn't know, Jack Wildermuth is a graduate of West Point.
Happy to serve, Barry. I did not win the Heisman, though. If you thought that.
You won the Heisman of announcing, whatever that is, the Emmy. You got an Emmy from your time there. You got something from your time there.
I would like to nominate you and our team for a CPL Emmy. Do they have those?
I mean, why not? Tony can print us up something.
I know Tony has a tux. Let's break that out.
Oh, yeah, we need that. All right, so that's Brother Rice against St. Rita. That'll be an awesome game. Number 6, Brother Rice against number 12, St. Rita. Maine South against Palatine. Again, some top 15 teams there. Maine South, number 11. They bounced back big time after their week 1 loss to Lincoln Way East. Maine South quarterback Jamison Purcell committed to Indiana. Montini versus Marist. So Izzy Abrams is the quarterback at Montini. Also a guy that has a ton of Power 5 looks for him. He led them to a 3A championship last year. He's got offers from Indiana, Kentucky, Iowa State, Cincinnati. And then another out of the Catholic League, Fenwick against Joliet Catholic. Fenwick 2-0 on the year. They had a big win last week over defending 4A champion DePaul. Joliet Catholic, they're actually on the ropes. They've had close losses against Lions and Glenbar West. So you end up with a loss against Fenwick, and you're staring at an 0-3 record after the first 3 weeks against Joliet Catholic, a team that lost on the last play of the 5A championship game last year. Amazing game that I watched, but they got to put some things together. They'll do it, but it might be a little messy. Fenwick also wanted to mention, I checked in on the stats. We talk a lot about Nate Marshall the last couple of years. Nate Marshall was the all-world 5-star edge from Fenwick. Ended up going to Michigan, and he's getting some playing time. So you had a QB hurry against New Mexico in the first week and 2 tackles last week against Oklahoma.
The Fenwick, shout out to Johnny Latner in the Heisman Trophy, and also Pete McMurray will escort the Heisman around during the holidays. Barry, I'm going to get you invited to one of those parties.
I want that.
Having a Heisman in a restaurant and a bar is a great way to start conversations.
All right, great way to start conversation here is that the ball is teed up, and we are ready to roll for the third quarter. Let's see, who do we have back deep?
Mason Abdul-Alim.
Freshman. And here's the kickoff. It's going to go short. It's going to go out of bounds in front of Kennelinum. So we had Alim and Maxwell Warner back there. Again, I'm not sure. We didn't have a time to check in. I think that Max was, he was taking a few plays off on both offense and defense. Not that he was taking them off, but I think that maybe they were just making sure that he was hydrated and ready to roll over there. We saw some rotation. Again, we're under normal rules of play here, but if the Dolphins would score another touchdown, we'd go to a running clock.
Is it 35 or 40?
It's 40.
40,
it's
okay,
40.
Thanks.
So 36-0. And I did preset it as the third quarter, so I wouldn't forget that. VK5, 3 touchdowns in the first half. Little pass in the flat that Gray took to the end zone, and 2 to big play Bardsma. There's a trickeration on the ground. DuRoss with the ball trying to get outside.
We have
a hold, probably,
penalty.
maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see what the penalty is. It's deep in the backfield. I don't know if Vaughn Conrad got a little hold in there. So it was a give on the inside to Warner, who tried to get it to DuRoss. Coach Finger rolled out a trick play on the second extra point of the night. That one went a lot better than what we just saw there. Tim Edwards coming off the field there.
And that was a loss of 1 million.
Yeah, there was 1 million yards that were lost on it. Dolphins need to get out to their own 49-yard line. I didn't get through all of my stuff at halftime because we had those fun interviews with Anthony Hood.
It's so great to see the kids come back for young men now come back for homecoming.
Yep. We'll get in a couple of the Whitney Young sports updates maybe later on here. But, second down and 1 million. Scott Muir in motion. VK5 with the give to Maxwell Warner. Nice seal block on the end. Warner out of bounds after a pickup. So that was Big Country getting a nice block on the edge. Scott Muir out as well. So call it a pickup of a $250,000. So that brings up a third down and about 12. So I think I don't know. He picked up $250,000. That'll help the stats. Early here in the third quarter, Bardsma heading to the top of your screen. Sheldon Williams to the bottom. Von Conrad looking back at Boucher, wanted to get some clarification on the play.
Dancing to that 80s music, Raise the Roof.
There was a little Raise the Roof. Scott Muir in motion to the top. Give to Warner. Warner looking for the corner. Now he turns it up. Pick up about 5 on the play. Westinghouse again, first half just struggled offensively on the fumble. They were able to move the ball a few times, and we've seen some nice hits from some of the guys out here. Just a matter of, again, you play some lower division teams early on, and then it moves a lot faster when you get up to this Metro division. So Dolphins doing a nice job here. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. 4th and 8. They need to get it to the 49-yard line. 2 receivers top and bottom. VK5, your quarterback with Warner next to him. VK5 low snap, but he corrals it. He's got there Scott Muir wide open, and Scott Muir is able to hang on to it. Keyshawn Davis from his safety position was zeroed in on Scott Muir, but Scott Muir, VK5 put some air underneath that, allowed his senior wide receiver to run underneath it. Big time 4th down conversion all the way to the 25-yard line.
Great concentration by Whitney. He had to feel those footsteps and concentrated, held onto the ball.
I don't think he felt the footsteps. I think he's so locked in that he had no idea anybody else was on the field.
Yes.
Inside give to Warner. Warner with a change of direction. Warner with another change of direction. Warner to the house. The chosen one.
The chosen one. Touchdown.
Wow. What you saw there was Warner with not a whole lot in front of him and got low, made a couple shifty moves for the touchdown, his 3rd rushing touchdown on the day. The chosen one to the end zone.
Wow. That was, you mentioned it earlier, Barry, the vision that he's developed over this season versus the last couple. It's fun to see.
The change of speeds, like the vision and patience, right? There was so much that was in there. There was vision, patience, and then there was just speed at the end.
Yeah.
Nicely done. 42-0. New kicker on here. Hammers it, but outside, a little wide left. So we actually had, let's make sure that we get this correct, that was Yanni Luze, who we've seen already on some special teams. Had powered the kick, but it was just a little bit wide left. And we've got ourselves a running clock now, everybody. So if you're settling in for the happy hour game, you might want to, I don't know, you got to go to the shops now.
I think so. We're 12, last call, 12 minutes until 6 p.m. So everyone get the beverages in.
Yep, get the beverage cart out. Send another round for this Dolphins team. 42-0. Warner again with a touchdown run. There is going to be some gaudy stat lines across Tony McHale's spreadsheet this week.
Dolphin kickoff team, the dinger, Brian Pantoja in the mix, Jonathan Avimakin. I'll never say his name right, Jonathan. Sorry about that.
Makin. Once you get it, man, you can't stop saying it. Makin.
Adrian Del Villar, Double L Logan Lopez, 26 Nevin Hinkle.
Miller booms it deep.
Get there, Jacob. Double L
Logan Lopez cleaning up Wildermuth in the vicinity. That was they'll look at that. Daryl Joyner, the returner, man, you just got to hit it. Too much looking for daylight there, man. Just run it up in there, see what you get, and then get your offense out there. So 42-0 lead. So Warner again came in to today with 206 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. He adds another 3 on that to give him 6. Conrad came into the day with 6 touchdown passes. Now he's got 9. So 9 touchdown passes. That actually eclipses what Vaughn did all of last year. Vaughn had 8 touchdown passes, where he wasn't really asked to do as much of that. That was a lot of the game plan on Luke Yolich and Warner's shoulders last year. So Westinghouse, Mosley looking to run it up the gut. He's corralled down. I think maybe that was 0, huh?
Yeah,
I think that was Spellers in.
If you ever fought a pod of dolphins in the ocean, which I think you have, you can't. You got to go north and south. You can't dance around when a pod of dolphins.
No, I think you just got to put your head down, right?
I think
you got to hope you don't get hit by a snoot.
Yes. And we have Caden Curran in at corner now. 19.
All right, Caden Curran getting some time on the outside. Check in on our safeties as well. I think we might have some new
Nevin
faces.
Hinkle
Snap over the head of Mosley. Agent Zero trying to get there.
Dolphin
ball recovered at the 1 yard line. Not sure. Logan Lopez is in there. I think the Dinger is in there too. I'm going to give that to the Dinger.
I think you have to assume Dinger when there's a fumble.
So the second airmailed snap for Westinghouse, and I think either call it the fourth or fifth fumble of the day. Clock is running here.
Woo, happy hour.
Happy hour in Whitney Dolphin land. Looks like most of the starting unit is on the field right here. Ball going to be placed at the 2 yard line. Conrad getting the play from Eddie Boucher. Wonder if Riverboat Dan put one in there just to see if it'd be too boring to just run one up the middle here for Max Warner. Warner wouldn't mind another one on the day. I'm sure no one would mind. DuRoss in motion. VK5 gunning it over there, trying to get it to Sheldon Williams. So Williams, I think Williams' second catch of the day for no yards.
I mean, if you're in a PPR league, that's okay.
It is good.
Yeah.
Sheldon Williams, your PPR receiver. I did talk to Sheldon about making the Z great again. I mean, it's a position in this Dolphins offense that literally gets one pass a year. So Sheldon had a touchdown in the first game, but now he's got 2 catches, so 3 to the Z.
The yards per catch record of all of the world is Will DeMille.
Absolutely, and he ran out of that Z position.
Yeah, one catch, 36 yards.
There you go. The Dolphin is talking to Agent Zero right now on the sidelines. Now Del Villar gets into the Dolphin. We got VK5. So they were trying to set that up. So they did the quick hitch to Williams before and then tried to get it back to him on the touchdown. But broken up. Nice play in the end zone by Westinghouse. VK5 trying to thread the needle. So it brings up 3rd and goal. Again, Dolphins recovered a wayward snap at the 2 yard line. Trying to punch it in.
Line 55, Big Country. Alex Olszewski. I wonder if the grandparents are listening in Poland. It's about 1 a.m. A little past happy hour, but they could be having some Malort.
I think that's his second happy hour. That's like that's the happiest of hours. Warner to Conrad's left. Warner, VK5 just a little bit wide, trying to get it over there to Scottmere. It's almost tough to for Scottmere to not catch it. VK5. So what we get now is the field goal unit on.
First field
Yanni
goal?
Luze on for the first field goal attempt for the Dolphins this year. So this is kind of fun. Tim Edwards saying, hey, man, we need the kicking ball. Kicking ball. Who, there we go.
K-ball.
Yep, get that K-ball out there. That was delivered by Aramy Kent. Aramy Kent at 5'1", 97 pounds.
That's a good tradition of freshmen helping out the Dolphins. 5'1", 97.
Way to get out there. Way to get the K-ball out there. So Yanni Luze going to line this up. Call it a 20-yarder. Edwards with the long snap. VK5 going to put this down. High snap. Good hold by Conrad. But Luze just wide left. Again, Luze's got plenty of distance on those, but I think a little bit of the timing was maybe a little bit off. Snap was a little bit high. Clock's still running here because we are in running clock territory. 42-0. Whitney Young over the Westinghouse Warriors.
Yeah, fun week of football, Barry's. But maybe your Packers last night.
Oh, man,
a nice little.
That was
good so far.
Yeah, that was fun. That was lot of action. Packers' first 2 weeks of defense the Micah Parson experiment seems to be working out just fine.
And I caught up with Val Warner quickly at halftime. She says that he is not a Packers fan, but he is a Micah Parsons fan.
Okay, fair enough.
Number one.
Fair enough. I'm glad you clarified that for everybody out there. All right, so Warriors going to be backed up here in the shadow of the goalpost, but their defense holds after the turnover. Paracchini in on the nose. Logan Jones, right end. Can't quite tell who's in at the left end. Mosley, the quarterback. So that's going to be the end of the third quarter. Again, clock running here. On defense, just getting some of these numbers. You got Lee Dingfield and Miller are going to be in at your linebacker positions when we roll it back out. That was Del Villar actually on the defensive line.
54.
I believe if you want to try it again, I think we have number 80 in the lineup.
Jonathan E.G. Mackin.
E.G. Mackin.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Jonathan. I got you now.
I love that kid. I had a great interview with him at Media Day too. He's he came up to me and he had class with Bennett. So again, my son is Bennett Newman. He graduated 2 years ago. But he came up to me. He's like, "Are you Bennett's dad?" And he was like so excited. It was great talking to him. Great smile. It's fun to get to know some of these kids, even if you only have a chance to talk to them a few times. And so Jonathan E.G. Mackin, I think he's been with the team the entire 4 years. Maybe joined later on.
It's nice to get to know these kids. We knew them when they were 5'1", 97 pounds.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Now these 27 seniors are having a great year.
Yep.
Turned into great young men.
Great start. And not that at 42-0 we could maybe start talking a little bit about next week. Big game next week, taking on Morgan Park. So we've had we've had 2 happy hour and a brunch game so far, and now we just get locked in on Friday Night Lights. So everybody out there in Dolphin Land, just put it in your calendars. 7 p.m. kickoffs, I think, pretty much the rest of the way on Friday nights. Full slate of Chicago Public League Metro games that will get going. So somehow the ball is out to the 20-yard line. High snap. Mosley gives it inside to Cross. Cross still on his feet. Tackled by the Dinger. Lee Dingfield brings him down. I think we got a Westinghouse Warrior player down. We'll attend to him.
Well, hope he's okay. Yeah, Dolphin, looks like we got some younger players in the game here.
So, Tony gives us a hard time because he goes back over and collects some of the footage. But am I right or wrong on this? The end of the third quarter, the ball was at the 2-yard line, right? Wasn't the ball at the 2-yard line?
It was at the 2-yard line.
And then when we start the fourth quarter and we flip sides of the field.
And then they were somehow at the 20.
It was at the 20.
Yes. I don't know what happened there.
Anyway, stranger things have happened.
I think someone might have Westinghouse plus 38.
That could be. All right, so Pantoja, Edwards, Logan Jones. Let me get Fabrizio Bell in the game at corner. Mosley, the quarterback. Got it over, but I think we had a maybe an offsides or something like that. I don't know. Refs were they? Anyway, I'm not going to say it.
So thanks again to the Miller family for providing the sandwiches today. Jason Miller just dropped by some waters for us. So thank you,
excellent.
Jason. Usually Dan Gray is the hydration expert, but some other senior
everybody's
parents
contributing.
are
This is it's family. It's everybody, Dolphin Nation, all pitching in. Again, we talked about at the Open about Nate Diaz being a big part of that family. We lost Nate this summer, but great to see other parents stepping forward and volunteering. Miller family, Gray family, Wildermuth family. And at the core of it all, the Finger family, of course. Latham family as well. Nice job, Adrian Del Villar.
Wow.
Hammers down Mosley. So good job of penetration across the board there. Logan Jones as well.
Jonathan Ijimakinen on the action. We have 80 out there.
That's Jonathan Ijimakinen.
It's Jonathan. I thought we saw an 88. I've been waiting for 88. Arlen Cooper. I just like that Michael Irvin tribute for Amin. His dad talked about that numbers in the 80s and how great they used to be. But maybe this next Gen Alpha will bring back the 80s.
Could be. It always swings around. Mosley, the quarterback, waiting for the snap. High snap, gives it the cross. Oh, no, he keeps it himself, but wrestled down immediately. Adrian Del Villar is having himself a fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen.
Jump 54. 19, Caden Kern at one corner. Fabrizio Bell at the other.
Westinghouse signals in a play. This is a team that, at their best, and I'm sure that you'll see it later in the year when they work out some of these kinks, they can play tempo and they can play fast. High snap to Mosley. He gets Ijimakinen, I think, got a tip on that. TFL for Jonathan Ijimakinen coming off the right side.
Doing his best Agent 0. That was Agent 8-0.
Agent 8-0, Ijimakinen, again, a senior, 6'3", 183, playing an outside linebacker position. Westinghouse not in a heck of a lot of hurry right now. We got 4th and long. Need to get it out to the 44-yard line, 43-yard line. Another high snap. Trying to get it on a seam route to Jaden Gandy. Gandy had a jet sweep last week for Westinghouse, but not today.
And that's a Sorelli's 4th down stop.
Sorelli's finer
stop
foods.
By. It's almost as if our sponsor highlights have an improvisational field.
I think the whole broadcast sort of has an improvisational feel. We hope you're having fun. We're having fun.
We're having a lot of fun here at homecoming. Again, it's just such a fun night and fun weekend. The band is here. 30 cheerleaders. The Dolphin mascot, who may have been talking to a player, which is that's not in the mascot code.
All right, Aiden Zhang checking in at quarterback. So I think right now trying to get a few guys in. Dylan Paracchini was saying, hey, Adrian Del Villar, I need myself a tackle here on the right side. So Zhang in at quarterback. Pantoja at one of the wide receiver slots. 82, Cameron Brown, freshman, checking in the game. Zhang with a give to Miller. Miller working his way out to the 30-yard line.
Ninja.
Miller's had some nice run. Again, only missed 1 extra point so far. He had 5 carries for 41 yards last week. Still working his way, trying to get that first varsity touchdown. He was darn close that first week. So he's got 7 carries, 76 yards on the year coming in. That'll put him over 80 for the year. Aiden Zhang, quarterback. Got 2 receivers to the bottom. That's Ryan Jones, we think. Tim Edwards in motion. Miller behind him. Zhang, ball on the ground. That was a little bit of a, I think Zhang went right, Miller went left.
Looks like
ball was on the turf, but recovered by Miller.
That's a ninja would do. You don't want to be at the bottom of a pile with a ninja.
No, you don't. You have no idea what you're going to come out with. Like you're checking digits, right? Right. So you're just counting toes, fingers, and toes when you get out of that. Penhoa to the top. We're still trying to tow some cars here. I'm not sure. Cameron Brown to the bottom. Zhang, the quarterback. Brown in motion. Zhang waiting for that snap from Biggie. Zhang zings it over
some velocity on that.
Sure did. To Ryan Jones. So Ryan Jones
27
with the catch. Aiden Zhang with the completion. I think we had him with, I think that's his first completion. I think he was in the Carver game, and I think had a couple incompletions. So Aiden Zhang in the box score. Here, 4:49 left in the fourth quarter. We got Remy Vaudel on camera. How you doing up there, Remy? Give to Miller. Miller met in the backfield and dropped. Miller met Ray Jordan Bolian. That's not Ray. Well, I mean, it might be, but there's no way that dude is 6'1", 206. Oh, maybe. So turnover on downs. We saw a Zhang completion, but 4 and out for the Dolphins. Clock running, 4:15. Fabrizio Bell, Miller, Del Villar in the lineup here on defense. E.G. Mockin, Logan Jones. High snap cross with some room to work on the outside. Good job there. Closed down by Sean Miller.
Sean Miller.
So Sean Miller lurking out of that linebacker spot.
I've never been chased by a ninja. It can't be a good feeling.
Oh, no. Heck no.
Or a dolphin. I've never been chased by a dolphin.
Max Tunk in the game as well. So we're talking about and ninja for Miller actually isn't just a nickname. I mean, he is a national level, nationally ranked ninja. There's Cross hammered down. Take your pick of who off the Dolphin defense. E.G. Mockin, Miller, all in there on the tackle. We got 12 on the field, so the big kind of debate in the offseason. So 12 is Graham Sheldon. Sheldon, a junior.
Special number for the Dolphins.
Number worn by Patrick McHale, Bennett Newman, and then VK5 on Conrad, but he went to 5 this year. So Graham Sheldon, middle linebacker, getting to wear 12 this season. Mosley, 3 receivers to the top, 2 to his left. High snap, that's a theme. Mosley wings it over, complete to Cross. Still on his feet. There was Max Tunk getting in on the tackle.
Max Tunk in on the action. Alex Estrella.
Yeah, Estrella also in. Senior defensive back.
Okay, now we see, I guess we have 57. I'm still looking
is Emilio Bracco.
Okay, there we are. Yeah. Yep.
Emiliano Bracco. Sorry, Emiliano. 6'1", 261 pounds senior. So seniors getting some tick here on homecoming. We're under 2 minutes left to play here, 42-0. Mosley, quarterback for Westinghouse. Guess what? High snap. Adrian Del Villar, Tim Edwards, and then Mosley slides down. So Del Villar almost got a sack on that, or a tackle for loss, I think we would call it. Chase down across the 40-yard line. So first down for Westinghouse.
You got to work hard to get a sack. And when Tony McHale was the statistician.
I would guess that Tony listens to these things with the volume off.
The Godfather.
He's like those hacks
on the ball again.
Oh, Mosley didn't even. Mosley had wanted no part of that. Graham Sheldon in on the hit at the end, and Mosley is down. So they're going to stop the clock here with 1:02. I mean, Mosley probably just exhausted, playing both ways on the ball, and he's had to corral quite a few high snaps on the night.
Yeah.
And again, the Westinghouse. I mean, they're going to be better days for these guys. There are definitely teams. They finished 5-5 last year overall. I think they were 5-2 in the red division. I mean, some of this stuff in Metro just it's a big conference, right? So you can end up avoiding some teams, and I mean, quite frankly, the Dolphins are going to avoid, at least in the regular season, they're going to avoid Simeon and Kenwood. and Lincoln Park, who's also, or not
Lane
Lincoln Park, but
Lane
Lane Tech.
Yeah, maybe
sorry,
three of the better teams.
Yeah, so and two teams that we know, but we talked about Lane at halftime and some of the players that they have there, and that's just the way the schedule works out. I mean, we do get to Morgan Park next week, so Morgan Park 0-2, but played against the number 4 and number 5 teams in the Chicagoland area. That'll be the Nasir Rankin game. So Rankin again started his career at Whitney Young. Had just got injured his freshman year, first game against Hope, but then had just a monster second year, both offensively and defensively and special teams. The guy does it all, and he's going to Illinois. 2-sports star. I mean, committed to both. Hey, that's our first one of the day. We have our perimeter set, and it was pretty athletic.
It took a lot of nimbleness.
You need to be down on the field,
Quickness,
man.
Yeah.
So Mosley, you're going to take the snap here with 1:02 left. High snap, delivered short to cross. It bounced in. That was our guy, Caden Curran,
almost
trying to get the INT, but just bounced in a little bit. So we might get 1, maybe 2 plays left here. I think Westinghouse is in no hurry to run those. So again, Morgan Park next week. Nasir Rankin, great player, top 100 guy in the nation. Carmelo Reed, also a guy that I think he is committed to Mississippi. Del VR putting the pressure on. Ball lands harmlessly across the 50. So that, I think, is going to be our last play of the day.
I think that's going to...
Mosley is, again, sometimes you gotta flush these games. So the Warriors, I'd say, flush the game and move on to next week. Coach Julius Carter going to get his guys lined up on the sideline. Dolphins going to get their Coach Finger.
Woo!
Dolphins homecoming happy hour game. Coach O'Donnell throws up the 0. Defensive coordinator Connor O'Donnell. Daddy O'Donnell.
Dolphins now score 41 points. 41 points now, 42.
There you go. If you had the over on the 41, you're cashing in on that. But again, big game here today. Dolphins go to 3-0 on the year. Recap of the scoring, if I can find my scoring sheet. But we know Maxwell Warner with 3 touchdowns, right? Von Conrad with 3 passing touchdowns. Oh, Warner with 2 touchdowns, right? 3 passing touchdowns for Conrad. 2 to big play Bardsma. 1 to Joseph Gray. Kind of doing that off the top of my head, but you guys all, I think you get the message that it was a pretty dominant by the Whitney Young Dolphins, who moved to 3-0. There's my cheat sheet. It was 3 touchdowns by Maxwell Warner. My apologies to the Warner family. They've got me cut off on. We're on mute for them too by this point. But great day, awesome weather out here. Great way to start the weekend. Jack, thanks for riding shotgun with me today.
Barry, another great broadcast by the Village of One, and great day to be a Dolphin. Fins up.
Fins up. So our thanks to Tony McHale, again, executive producer of these broadcasts, does so much stuff behind the scenes. Athletic director Chris Cassidy, principal Ricky Harris, and of course, head coach Daniel Finger. So again, Dolphins 42, Westinghouse Warriors 0. Homecoming win for the Dolphins. Dolphins back here, right? We're back here. Home game next week.
Friday Night Lights,
7 p.m. against Nasir Rankin, Carmelo Reed, and the rest of the Morgan Park Bronco? No, not Morgan Park Mustangs.
Nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
Mustangs. Yep. We haven't played them for a couple years. So, awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have yourself a great weekend. Go Dolphins.